Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Adventurers League Storm King's Thunder, Episode 9. I realized earlier this morning that we had a bit of a episode misnumbering adventure with the last one, which I had also named numbered 7, which one before it was 7, so fixed it now. Anyways, when last we left our heroes, they were just jumped by a bunch of bandits and killed them all.
What are our heroes' names, John?
Our heroes are... I'm John. I'm the executive producer here at Waterflame, also Game Master. It's Sunday morning, 10:15 a.m. We're playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. And I am joined today by William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Fyron, the human paladin of Ilmater.
And Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm playing Farbolt Chance, the half-elf rogue.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm playing Miracle, the Tiefling Ranger, fueled entirely by my caffeine insanity.
And Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy, and I'm playing... Who the fuck am I playing? Which of my many characters am I playing?
Kinvalar.
Kinvalar Erasme, the Sun Elf Blade Singer.
I'm playing... Who am I? Kevlar got fucked up by that bandit captain. Let's just say that.
Yes, he did.
The amnesia character will find out about him as he goes along.
No, wait. I'm going to be playing Adele. No, wait. That would be weird.
I believe you already acquired the spoils from the bandits, so we pick up with the group of you standing next to a broken down carriage and a bunch of dead bandits. And I think we just went down because my upload speed is 0.
Oh dear.
Are we going to be able to actually stream this?
Well, I mean,
hold on.
For those watching on Twitch, ingest servers are still having issues apparently. I'm not certain because nothing has changed on my end except for the ingest server I picked. Which the other one was also having issues. But
it's up.
Yeah. Well, we're dropping frames, but no more than.
Oh yeah, something fierce.
Anyways, again, the upload to YouTube will be the local recording, not the Twitch version. So hopefully it won't have any of the drastic frame drops that we're having. And I might, if it continues to be bad, I'm gonna switch ingest servers again and see if that fixes anything. But for now, you are all on the side of the road next to a next to a bunch of dead bandits. And scene.
4 bandits.
You didn't necessarily need to kill them to persuade them to surrender.
Oh, it doesn't hurt.
It wasn't about persuading them to surrender. They were... Imagine what would happen if they were to encounter a less capable group of individuals. Those individuals would be in a ditch. We're still quite a ways off from any level of any city. So, unless we wish to take them the whole way, the group of them being fairly sizable, it seemed to be most expedient.
I find a little bit of problem with the idea that expedience is the reason we just killed a dozen men, but...
I prefer
expedience is a poor choice of term, or poor choice of words, I suppose.
I prefer to think of it, they were trying to put sharp, pointy metal things into me, and, I don't like that.
I don't disagree that in a battle to the death, holding back is likely to get you killed. One of them may have been about to surrender before you slashed his throat. And one we could have certainly brought back. At least if for nothing else but information.
I didn't slash his throat. I cast a Mel's acid arrow through his throat.
No, that was the guy who tried to run away. The one that I had surrender and you slashed his throat.
Yeah, you spun around and slashed the fuck out of his throat.
One of the two.
Also, there is something to be said for... There is something to be said for being able to follow through on threats and or promises that makes you credible or not.
I think the question now is...
Expediency was a poor choice of words. Viability was perhaps a better one.
I think more of the point now we need to clean up. Leave a pile of dead bodies on the side of the road.
Let's look. I don't know. What's most expedient?
Oh, I already said it was a poor choice of words. I don't know what would be better.
They're actually useful enough to dispose of a body. Nope.
I mean, I don't mean...
Just on the side, while they're arguing, on the side of the cart that they were using, just carve into like bandits beware on the side of the cart. It's like,
I was thinking we put them in the cart and take them into town for take them into the eventual town for a proper burial.
How far are we out from a town?
You guys are about checking the map. You sort of figure you're roughly middle of the in the middle of the Evermore Way between Yarder and Callinghorns.
Yeah, having
So
a
we're-
hard time telling.
so we're like
how
several
that
days
would
out.
be harder to do with them alive.
So you are currently you're about 46,
2 days.
You're about 46 miles from Callinghorns. It's about a day and a half actually on horse because you guys have horses. So.
Could we slow significantly by dragging it? I was actually considering using their cart as a cairn for them. It's a cairn, I mean pyre.
That's also an option.
It's also, looking at it, it's also a broken cart.
It would make good kindling for a pyre, and that would at least be some semblance of funeral rite for them.
Can I do like a lore check of some variety for what would be the appropriate thing to do in this situation?
You can do a religion
Probably
check.
a religion check.
You can do a religion check. You can do a history check. Like it depends on what you're trying to do. Like what would be appropriate
History.
to do with bandits specifically, or what would be
I don't know why I rolled that with
appropriate to do
advantage.
for humans. Like
I also don't know why I expected our dice to be any different than normal.
So I mean, firing
not.
pyre seems fine. That's a pretty standard way to get rid of the dead without making sure they don't come back. Miracle, historically speaking, bandits are left for the birds. Like, the people don't the more civilized people of the north don't tend to have a lot of patience for honoring dead bandits. They tend to leave them in ditches on the side of the road. So basically, anything other than that would be a step up from what they normally get.
Yeah. I'm not going to rob animals of food. I think that's a good way to get rid of bury your dead.
Like throw them in a ditch on the side of the road and continue on is what most patrols do, historically speaking.
I mean, we could find a bear's nest and throw them there.
They'll probably find them anyways.
You've got a weird way of respecting your dead.
I mean,
They're dead now, so just like circle of life.
I mean,
when we
Ashley,
die, we become the grass, and then the animals eat the grass.
I mean, if we die, we become the carcasses that the vultures eat, but...
I mean, ashes would also be good for the growth of plant life around here.
Oh, yeah, ashes are fine. Rob the birds of their meal.
Give it to the grass.
Fine. I don't care that much.
All I'm saying is ash is good for plants.
Okay. You can burn them if it makes you feel better.
I
Would
have
you
no
like to say
stake
some kind
either
of
way.
look for
The-
fire? And would you like to say some kind of last rites for them or something before we move on? And then let's move on.
Certainly. Just pile them into the cart and we'll set it aflame for a pyre.
Yeah, you guys, you very easily can pile them into the cart after taking your pick of the finances that you acquired off of them. And yeah, light the cart on fire, and there is a nice, brightly burning pyre.
And Firen does some very quick funeral rites that I can't think of because I'm not awake right now.
You just the generic. May these travelers be received into the arms of whomsoever deity they are bound to, etc. Alternatively, may they be damned to the seven hells for all the rest of their existence. Whichever.
I mean, I'm a paladin of mercy. I don't think that second one is.
And they go up in smoke.
Perfect.
You're now standing around a burning cart with it's starting to swiftly smell of jerky.
Yeah. Okay. At this point, let's get going.
And this is in the middle of a plains. The wind will scatter their ashes.
Yeah, and maybe
Yeah.
the fire, but you know.
So, all right, we'll leave the wind to scatter their ash and move on.
All right, and you guys continue on. The next,
Yep.
Unless there's anything else you guys want to do before you get to calling horns, the next day and a half will be fairly uneventful.
I will want looking at Kinvalar. So, still thinking about a few things. What can you tell me about the alarm spell?
What would you like to know? It's one I'm familiar with.
How is it triggered? What does it do? Can you?
I mean,
If you trigger it and then they can reset it, or does it tell you what crossed the barriers, or just that something did?
so you put on a particular a particular portal, or if it's small enough, then just a whole area, and it will let you know whenever anybody touches the door, touches the window, enters the area. It doesn't say who. It doesn't necessarily tell you where, unless it's that just
One
that
particular
like one.
thing.
Right.
Does it?
It does. It is
Can you
not
set it off
necessarily-
repeatedly? Or is it just alarm goes off, or can we keep making it go off?
No. It lasts about 8 hours, and until the magic fades, it will alert you whenever anybody does. It doesn't. It is not necessarily an audible sound, although it can be. Sometimes it mentally informs you. And it will actually wake you up if you are in the middle of a sleep.
You do also know that in certain establishments, it is possible to make a permanent alarm spell over an area. It would have to be reset when it's triggered, but it can. There can be an alarm spell that doesn't just have a duration end.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Typically, that's used on that's typically something that's used on royal treasuries.
Yeah, but that's
like
not the alarm spell. That's something else.
It is an alarm spell, but it's a permanent version of it. It works the same as the alarm spell, it just doesn't have an end duration.
It's an alarm enchantment.
Yeah, you would know that exists too.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm still thinking about those magical items that are being held and reserved and, well, not being used.
Mm.
And
You're gonna have to convince everybody else.
Or be very good.
I'm not. I take some level of issue with it, but
yeah, it's looking at think of
I'm
it
not.
as
I'm not so stringently opposed, considering
liberating them for better use. They're one, they're
again
not being
you're
used.
going to
Two,
have to convince
let's see.
everyone else. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not in love with the idea, but I would not necessarily stand in the way, considering what
Object.
we know about them. I'm not the person you have to worry about regarding that.
Okay, fair enough.
Is there anything else that happens over the course of the next day and a half?
Resting.
I mean, yeah, you do get a long rest in.
Good Lord doesn't have any particular. I don't know about anybody else. Just sort of taking it easy on the road to
All right.
calling horns.
If no one else has anything, then after a day and a half, getting towards the evening on the second day, you find yourselves approaching Calling Horns. Those of you that are familiar with the North, those of you that are familiar with like areas around Silvery Moon and such, know that Calling Horns was nothing more than a trailside inn until a few years ago, when a human noble came in, bought the establishment, retired there, and then built up a small village, which is now there. So the Calling Horns was the inn, and now a village has sort of sprung up around it, and you guys find yourself coming in. It's a fairly small village. It's not a huge population, but as you come into town, you notice that sort of the inn stands at the intersection of Jundar's Pass and Evermore Way, and heading up to where the inn is, you see a cairn of weathered and lichen-covered orc skulls, just sort of piled up. And sort of around it, there's just rows of small log cottages, bark shingled rooftops, and then the Calling Horns Inn, a large fieldstone structure with adjoining stables, and it's sort of on a ridge that overlooks the intersection. So, and it's just sort of a semi-forested area, and yeah, we're at Calling Horns.
Wonderful.
How long do we intend to stay around here, or are we just going to immediately set out for no one else?
I mean, I feel like
or
we're passing
wherever we're headed next?
through more or less.
Make our delivery and make our way.
We do have a stop at Noanar's Hold, correct?
Yep.
Yes,
Am I
absolutely.
recalling correctly? Aye.
And Nonar's Hold is another roughly 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, a day and a half because you're, but it's about 24 miles up to the intersection that turns off towards Nonar's Hold, and then 24 miles down to Nonar's Hold.
Right. I mean, is it fairly late in the day at this point?
Yeah, it's in a modern sensibility, it'd be approaching 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Let's just say at most we'll stay overnight.
We might as well stay here for the night, and then get a fresh start in the morning. Actually, enjoy
An inn instead of a horseback.
yes, an actual bed before we head out.
Right. So yeah, you guys head up the ridge to the Calling Horns. You get in. It's fairly. It's sort of the town built up around it, so it's pretty It's a pretty popular sort of drinking place. Get the sense that there's not much to do in Calling Horns aside from spending time at the tavern that's attached to the inn. So
Fair
as you
enough.
guys walk in, it's a you're sort of your standard crowded typical tavern, and at the counter is a barkeep. Barkeep is a female human. Sort of just sitting on a stool behind. Looks to be well ahead in her years. Pale
Cool.
skin, dark hair. Sort of handling drinks and talking to people.
All right. Put on a friendly smile. Head up. Hello. 4 rooms.
Looks over at you. 4 rooms.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be. She looks down at a sheet of paper that tells her prices because they're for some reason not where they
Because
should
she is
be.
the cosmic entity that travels between all of the inns and needs
It's
to know
true.
the different prices for each one.
It's true.
She is the innkeeper.
Yeah, that'll be 5 silver a room.
Wonderful. 1, 2. All right. Yep. Pay up.
We'll take it. Put down.
Mm-hmm.
Hand you
Hand out
a set of
keys.
They're marked with their room numbers.
Okay.
All the rooms are upstairs. Tavern's under floor. If you want anything, grab one of the barmaids. They'll get your order taken.
Excellent. And yeah, Kindler is gonna head up to his room.
Kinvalar goes to bed.
Yes.
Byron also could probably use some sleep, so
Probably not actually. No, yeah, going to sleep.
Yep. All right. What about Farbolt and Miracle?
Farbolt's going to go get a drink.
Farbolt goes and gets a drink. Yeah.
Miracle's probably gonna people watch for a bit and then go to sleep.
Yeah. So Farbolt, you get a drink. It's gonna cost you. What kind of a drink are you looking for?
Just
Just a mug of
average
ale?
mug of ale, whatever they've got.
Mug of ale's 4 coppers.
Okay.
You get yourself a mug. Sit back. Miracle sort of sits off to one side, watching people. And
Kind of start doing the same. Anything interesting going on, or is it just a bunch of
Sure,
drunk guys?
give me perception checks, everybody. Or not everybody. The 2 of you that are not going to sleep. So Miracle, lots of noise. There's just people are talking and jabbering, and it's just sort of after being relatively quiet for so long.
No
all
one
of a sudden-
explicitly says something to him, so he's like, I'm watching people.
Yeah.
They're not as interesting as birds.
Firebolt, you're sort of just listening around and listening to conversations, and your ear's a little bit more trained for this, so you sit in, and there are you notice that there's a couple of people sort of at a table off to one side who look to be wearing a uniform of some kind, and you imagine them to be sort of the local law enforcement of whatever. It's an elf and a human, pair of females, talking, and you hear that they're sort of you're sort of eavesdropping on their conversation, so you're only catching bits of it, but you do hear the human woman saying, "So I hear that that tribe of trolls was driven out by something from the Evermoors. We should probably keep an eye out in case they decide to head this way." And the elf just responds with, "I saw some fire in the north, so it might be what was driving them out. We should probably send a few people up there to just sort of see what's going on in the Evermoors. Either way, we should probably let Zoar know when we get back on duty that keep an eye out."
I was
Going
waiting
through-
for that conversation to fail the Bechdel test. Good work.
Gonna stroll over there. Excuse me, I couldn't help overhear that you'd mentioned that there was trolls being chased out of the Evermore.
They sort of look over at you like, why were you listening in to us? Random
Oh,
person in a bar? They don't say anything, but they
That's
just,
what
they just,
adventurers
They gotta look at.
do.
Oh,
they just look.
notice there's some. We just recently arrived in town. We noticed on our way here. We noticed there was a hill giant that had taken up residency out in one of the old watchtowers.
That was
So it seems
that was
like
a,
there's.
that was a town back.
No, they're still on the way here.
Give,
It seems that there's a lot of things coming out of the Evermores lately.
give me a persuasion check.
I'm actually pretty decent at that.
This will look up at you. With a 21, they. Oh, you're probably one of those adventurers that come through here every once in a while. Yeah, no. We've seen fires in the Evermores to the north, and some of our scouts have noticed that trolls have been fleeing south. We're just keeping an eye out to make sure they're not coming here.
And several days passed, we didn't notice on our travels. We noticed some fires. We thought it was some kind of battle going on. You saying there's any other rumors?
We only know what we report. So the fact that there's a hill giant further down the road, that's news to us. We don't typically send patrols. We send patrols in our local area, and there's no watchtowers nearby. So
Just kind of with a grin, it's like, yeah, well, the hill giant has been dealt with.
that's good. And you get the sense that there is a unspoken of you at the back of that, like that sort of why thank you. That's very. You're another adventurer, and they're guards. They stay here. You move on, so they're not too concerned with you at the moment.
Oh, has there been any other odd goings on?
I mean, just
All
the
kinds of rumors.
ghost stories coming out of Nonar's hold, but that's about it.
I've known what kind of ghost stories.
Oh, the usual. The locals there are always superstitious that wraiths wander the woods or something like that. Only at night they're never. Whenever any guards go out there to check up on them, they never find anything. It's just that's pretty much it. Fires in the north and ghosts in the south.
That sounds all rather fun. Well, thank you for your time.
Sure. And they pick up their drinks and move away.
Just gotta finish my drink and probably head on out after that.
Out or up?
Up. All right.
After a while, Farbolt goes to his room.
I'm very disappointed you didn't make a stuck in the middle with you joke there.
That didn't really cross my mind. No, okay, now that I think about it, that's all I could say.
Fires to the north of you,
Yes,
ghosts.
yes,
Here I am.
That would have actually been a perfect pickup line, actually.
You say perfect.
I say perfect in the sense of like the way that pickup lines are like
Right.
the same way that puns are.
Yeah.
I've actually witnessed
Pickup line.
Miracle.
Basically for determining who is not attractive.
You know?
Miracle. You see Farbolt head up to his room.
Like I appreciate
After-
pickup lines the same way I appreciate puns.
After talking to a pair of uniformed ladies that look like they may be guards.
It's a weird way to start your I want to steal from the nobles campaign, but I don't know a ton about this stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Gotta feel out
Okay.
the guards.
I'll go on up.
So the four of you lay down and go to rest for the night. What are your passive perceptions, all of you?
12.
11.
18.
As we all get our
I
throats
think
slit.
my
or
bird
two
has a
at
higher
time.
passive perception and does sleep in the
Oh,
same.
that is true.
So if it's something that the bird would at
Yeah,
times
yeah,
be aware
you
of,
can-
like someone taking all my shit.
Passive perception of the bird and cat as well.
Relix's passive perception is 15.
16.
And Firen?
Oh
This
my
is
god, our
why
animals are so much
14.
better at this than
This
us.
is why we have pets.
So, all of you are suddenly woken up. By a knife and throat. No. You hear a you hear a like it almost sounds like somebody whittling wood, but with like 4 massive machetes instead of a whittling knife. You just hear the sound of wood peeling away. And it's sort of it's definitely loud and odd enough that it wakes you up straight out of your sleep. It's just this loud.
Is there a window in the room or anything? Is it coming from like downstairs, outside?
None of you.
Yeah,
All of you are in internal rooms. None of them have windows, but it's definitely coming from not right next to you. It's not like right out the door. Make me perception checks. See if how many of you can sort of determine.
Oh
the
boy,
direction-
time
the
to
directionality.
roll dice.
Hey, I've been rolling fairly well here, so when we come to combat, I'm just going to fall on my face.
Gotta get those dice rolls, man.
oh, I do not have a disadvantage.
Also roll for
but
your
it's
pets.
still
so-
a 5.
Also roll for your pets. Those of you that have pets.
Okay.
'Cause they can help you.
And a 22 for Relix.
Is this something that relies on sight?
Actually,
No.
hang on. Do I have a psychic bond with my?
Horse.
I think I do.
I do
Did
not
you-
have a psychic
Did you
bond. I have a
Did you
horse.
stable your horse?
At this inn, yes.
Okay, well then you know automatically that the sound is coming from the stables because your horse is saying something's trying to get into the stables.
16.
I'm immediately headed there with blades and armor.
Red Feather and Relix both sort of indicate that something hinky is going on towards the stables, and Farbolt, you just sort of
Oh dear
put your
lord.
head up, listen. Yeah, that scratching sound is coming from the stables.
Oh boy, start. Yeah,
If they killed
Putting
my
my-
horse, I'm going to be very cross with them.
start putting my armor on, grabbing my equipment.
Grabbing my equipment. Clarification: are we using the armor types from the book?
Yes.
So it's going to take.
Well, then
us
I'm
a
not
while.
waiting like 10 minutes to put on my armor.
Yeah, no, the dawning time for armor is way too long. So just sword and shield
It's-
going.
I mean, it takes a long time to get stuff on.
Yeah, it does.
Fair enough. I'm not
Hold
arguing
on.
with that ruling.
Yeah,
It's
if
just
I
that
hear the people
I
running
think
out,
leather's
then I probably
5, medium's 10. Light's 5, medium's 10.
Light armor takes a minute to put on. Medium
Yeah.
armor takes 5 minutes to put on. Heavy armor takes 10 minutes to put on.
Oh, then absolutely. I would
Miracle's
take time.
still not waiting because he's not particularly bright.
Kevlar and regular clothes are very quick to put on. They're like an action.
Yeah, I will take the minute to throw on my studded leather.
Same here.
Because
I don't have 10 minutes to put on my heavy armor.
You got the shield though, so you're good. So-
Yeah, I have my shield. So
I'll not take the minute.
that said, with my shield, my AC is 11 because I
Excellent.
normally have a -1 dex.
Well, better than without. So, several of you sort of duck out the doors immediately. Miracle and Firen, you out the doors, and you see, Miracle. You see Firen in just like a shirt and trousers, no, not his usual shining armor look. and Miracle is also not quite as armored as normal. The two of you immediately head out, heading down the stairs. And as you get down the stairs, you see the woman who was at the bar the night before, dressed in leathers. Or actually has a dressed in leathers, but you notice like sort of the sheen of a breastplate underneath her coat. Sort of walking out of a back room with a rapier on her hip. Oh, so I guess you guys heard it too. Come with me. And she heads out towards she leads the way towards the stables.
Actually, as an effort to help this, how long does Shield of Faith last? Up to 10 minutes. So as we're heading out to the stables, I will cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Yep. So if you tap your chest, and this radiant, glowing aura surrounds you. Very quickly, Farbolt. Very quickly, Farbolt and Kinvalar, you finished getting dressed and rushed down.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys, the three that are ahead of you by a minute are moving cautiously and slowly. The two of you are sort of rushing because you had to take a minute to get your armor on. So you roughly get around the outside of the stables at the same time. And as you approach, you see the older woman and Fyron and Miracle sort of. Yep.
Handing each member of the group 2 good berries.
Okay. So, pass out the good berries. And she's sort of...
My hawk has 1.
She's leaning up at the corner of the stables and sort of peering around. And as she does, she sort of peers around. This scratching sound is really loud now. She looks back. All right, so how many of you are familiar with fighting trolls?
I'm not unfamiliar.
I remember something about fire.
Yes.
Anyone that wants can give me a nature check.
13.
Fuck yes! Finally.
Finally. Good lord.
18.
So
That's
yeah.
lower. 2. I've read
They're big damn claws.
You've never fought trolls yourself, Fyron, so you're not 100% certain.
What the fuck is going on, William?
Kindvalar and Farbolt, you both know fire is fire is one of those standard fight trolls with. Miracle, in addition to knowing that, also know that you want to avoid slicing them if you can. You really want to stick to fire, because if they take a certain amount of damage from a slashing weapon and you sever one of their limbs, then it can grow back, healing them. It can do another thing. Some of them can regrow into a new troll. Troll limbs, really want to keep them attached as much as possible, and if they go away, you want to kill them as quickly as possible. Because...
No slashing, no cutting off arms, burn it to the ground.
Yeah. Burning stops them from rejuvenating like that. And it also can stop the limbs from growing into other trolls. So.
It's a good thing that one of my primary attacks includes, with my sword, includes fire.
Yes, green flame blade is one of those things that you can slice with and not, ruin yourself.
Yup.
All right. So you guys sort of spread that information around, and she just sort of nods.
First,
right.
Look around. Pull out a torch. I'm not lighting it yet, but
she draws this rapier out of its sheath. Right. On the count of 3. 1, 2.
No, I'm kidding.
3. And she sort of rounds the corner, rapier in hand. As the rest of you hopefully round with her. And at this point, I'm going to need everyone to roll me some. I'm gonna pull up the blank battle map just to have you guys have tokens. We're not actually going to use a battle map because it's not necessary.
Too in close to really worry about positioning.
Yeah. So.
19.
Roll initiative.
7. See, once we're in combat, my rolls,
13.
my rolls
That's what
before
I
were
rolled
really
on the
good.
last combat too. I can tell because it's still in
Well,
the thing.
at least William finally rolled above a 4.
Yeah, that's
know?
true. That is true.
God!
To be fair, this is my fourth roll.
You know, I had like half a thought that
Rolled a
maybe
2, 4, 4, 2.
Okay.
maybe tracking the dice rolls would change how we roll in this because randomness was like, nope, when I'm being observed, I am true.
Somehow I doubt that.
Fucking nonsense.
Did not work. Yeah.
So many things I have to deal with. That's what.
I'm just convinced that Adventures League is just some weird fucking bizarro world anomaly. Because I want to point out, I'm second highest so far, and only barely behind Jeff. This is not normal.
You've also rolled a lot less.
No, I have
Oh.
currently. William and I have 5 rolls. Actually, everybody has 5 rolls each except for you. You have 7.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
My other rolls for like persuasion, perception, they were pretty high. And then
Yes,
initiative.
you were rolling really, really well until that 3.
Yeah. Now that we're in combat, I'm going to be rolling in the single digits.
All right.
And the fact that I'm not wearing my heavy armor means I'm going to die.
No, you guys are
That's
fine.
why I distributed the good berries in advance.
All right. So appropriately enough, the barkeep is first.
Of course he is.
She.
It's nice knowing she is,
Uh,
yes. Well, the guy the token that you have is
Yeah, it's because she doesn't have a individual. She doesn't have an independent character sheet. She's just a noble, so they use the noble icon.
what the
She runs. She sort of moves up and just stabs in with this rapier, hitting it. Striking a like impressively, like for a lady as obviously old as she is, she wields this rapier very gracefully and deftly, and just stabs in and gets a good chunk out of this troll, which makes it in Kinvalar's turn.
All right. I'm going to turn around. Yep. And let's go big right off the bat. And
Bola de Fuego?
huh?
I said fireball in Spanish.
Yeah, no, not that big. I actually don't have fireball. But no, let's do some minute meteors here. So I load that up, and two will go flying at the one that the noble.
Okay.
So-
where are you aiming them at?
Flying at the troll that
Yeah, but
the barkeep attacked.
in such a way that's to not hit the barkeep.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and
Actually, couldn't you hit both of them if you just sent it to like?
I don't know. It is a moderately accurate representation.
Yeah,
At
they are.
this
They're,
point,
they're
okay.
not. They're not like side by side.
So let me look here. Make sure real quick. Each creature within 5 feet of the point. Yeah. Nope. I could. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Nail
launch
'em
these two
both.
things sort of in the middle, between their feet where they're standing.
So DC 14 dexterity save, and it's a total of 5 because damage.
Well,
Or it's a total of 10. 5 if they save.
so the first one The first one, they rolled a 13 and a 12.
Nice.
The second one, they rolled a natural 1 and an 11.
Nice.
So,
That's some 10 damage, motherfuckers.
they both take 10 points of fire damage.
Eat it.
And for my bonus action, I start my blade song.
All right. That makes it Firen's turn. So yeah, these trolls are sort of reel back as the fire hits them. And
Well, with my with my bonus action, I will cast Searing Smite, and I will run up and hopefully make contact.
and
I don't know.
attempt to smite.
Nope.
Good
Yeah, you
fucking
run up.
God.
You run up and overhand swing, and then you just you overestimate how they're sort of reeling back from the meteor strike, and you just swing past and hit the ground with your currently on fire longsword.
Oh, also, Searing Smite means I lose Shield of Faith because they're both concentration.
Yep.
So my AC is now 11.
Yeah, that radiant glow went from your body into your sword, and then you planted it in the ground.
Don't worry, it lasts until I hit it. I get a second attack though. Hang on.
Oh, you get a second attack? Yeah, go ahead.
10! Still misses.
Swing back, and again, it just sort of reels out of the way. Firebolt. This is
Move
where
on.
Fireman dies.
Move off to
Like I
the
said.
side here. I'm gonna throw 2 daggers from back here, because these guys seem to have some flame out, so I don't need to pull something out just yet.
13,
13 is
misses.
good.
You fling
Misses
it,
and
hits the wall.
17.
17 finds purchase, though. And if you're attacking the one that Firen and
I'm attacking the first one here.
the barkeeper
And
next to,
Hey, look,
No.
you actually rolled a 10 on the dice.
so
No, that's been rolling actually really well.
I know, I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
I've got double digits.
4 and then 9. Yeah, you that first one hits the wall of the stable, and just sort of thunks into it. The second one, however, as it sort of comes back around, shink, gets it like right in the sternum and just sinks deep. Their turn. So, I mean, one of them swings at Firen because Firen is right there. A
And
9.
so is the noble, and the noble actually hit them.
Yeah, but you have a flaming sword. A 9 misses you, though.
It wouldn't if I wasn't wearing this shield.
But a 21 and a 13 hit you.
They do.
You take 11 and then 12 slashing damage. As it tries to bite you first, you just bash its face away with the shield, and then while you're open, just 2 claws rake down and strike your chest. The other one lopes towards Kinvalar. the person
Yeah, it
throwing
does.
Meteors. Does a 17 hit you?
No, it does not.
All right. Does a 25 and a 21 hit you?
The 25 definitely does. I am going to throw up a shield so the 21 does not.
Good. Because the 25 hits you for 8 slashing damage. As you, you dodge out of the way of the bite, and as you dodge, a claw catches you in the side, and then you use that reaction to throw up that shield as this other claw comes in and just scrapes off this invisible barrier between you and
So
it.
I have to make a concentration
You know what this,
check
this
with
party could
advantage
use?
as Warcaster.
A
I
barbarian?
feel like this party could use a bard. Because inspiration dice might offset these horrible d20 rolls.
So my meteors are still active.
Yes, they are.
I don't understand what's going on with right now because I'm rolling well. This is fucking bizarro world.
All right. That makes it Miracle's turn.
Okay. good berries are out and distributed. I did that beforehand.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
So, cling, because I can't use my whip. My whip is cool. Longbow, 14.
14 misses. So you whip out that longbow.
24.
The first arrow hits the bar. The second arrow strikes true. Which one are you aiming at?
The one by Quinvalar wasn't hit previously, right?
I mean, it was hit by
They
the
were
meteors.
they both got hit by the meteors.
But isn't being focused by everyone, right?
Correct.
No.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, then I'm going for that one.
All right. Yeah, so the second one hits,
3.
and you nail it in the shoulder for 3 points of piercing damage. All right, that takes us back to the top of the round. The noble realigns herself, shifts over so that she's flanking with Fyron.
Please.
And strikes with the rapier. 17 hits. And she nicks a bit of it with her rapier. Kinvalar.
All right. So for my bonus action, this motherfucker right in front of me is going to get a couple of meteors. Slamming into his back so they don't collide with me.
All right.
Or so they don't hit me too. So
There, you sort of like rocket them down to the left and right so they hit him but not you.
yeah.
Uh,
So that's 6 and 6. And that's my bonus action.
with a 15 and a 15 on both saves, he saves but still takes 3 fire damage from each. So
Yes.
taking
And then
the fire damage is the relevant part.
for my action, I am going to. I'm going to green flame blade strike this dude.
Right.
Scimitar attack. Do not have advantage. An 18.
Will hit.
All right. So that will be 9 slashing damage and
So you're at the level where Green Flame Blade also does a D8 extra fire damage.
yes, I just have that as a separate
So
thing.
2
So
fire
9 damage and 2, 9 slashing and 2 fire.
Yeah, so you boom boom pelt this thing with explosions of meteors and follow it up with a scimitar slice across the stomach, fire rippling across your blade as you do so.
And just for grins, I'm gonna throw myself sort of dance, spin around it till I'm right there.
Okay. Firing.
All right, maybe I'll actually hit this thing and light it on fire this time.
It'd be nice.
I have advantage.
Yep.
17.
17 hits.
Yay. 9 slashing damage and then searing smite.
Or
2 fire damage, and it needs to make a con save or be lit on fire.
Alright. What's the DC on the con? Doesn't matter, roll a 22. It is not on fire.
Well, bonus action between attacks to cast it again and swing again.
Alright. Good.
Natural 20.
A natural 20 will hit.
I do double searing smite damage as well. So it's going to be 2 fire, 6 fire, so 8 total fire damage.
Alright, yeah, you wham, wham, your longsword igniting in a blaze with each strike.
And 14 slashing damage.
Just knocking it back.
And another con save or be ignited.
And it succeeds the con save. 23.
Nah.
You just have really good constitution.
They're trolls. I kind of expected it, but I'm dealing fire damage.
That's good. Farbolt.
Boy. This isn't exactly to scale, is it?
What is it to scale?
Well, mostly I want to move to assist Kinvalar.
No, it's that's the correct distances from you.
Okay.
You can move there.
Yeah. I'm going to assist Kinvalar since he's by himself.
That'll give you advantage because you're flanking now.
Okay, and dart over there and pull up my rapier. Try to stab him in the back.
26 hits. And you do get sneak attack because an ally is in melee.
19, and just because I can, stab out with my dagger as well.
The 10 misses. So yeah, you get in there with a really nice rapier attack. Pull it back out, slice with the sword, miss. Or slice with the dagger and miss. Farbolt over here doing the most damage.
Sneak attack is fun.
All right, that makes it their turn. They've both taken fire damage, so neither one of them regenerate health. Firen.
Yo.
Does a 16 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Does a critical hit hits you?
Yes.
And an 11 hits you too, doesn't it?
Yes. They're not wearing my heavy armor.
You take 7 piercing as this
He was a brave paladin.
As this
He
troll
was a noble paladin.
bites
He's
down
the
on you,
Paladin.
and then it's just razor-like claws stab into your gut and rip out as you take 12 plus 6 plus 8, so 26 points of damage after you
I
take
am
that 7.
unconscious.
How far does that take you down?
That puts me at -4.
Okay. So
Whereas I'm nowhere near instant death. I have 52 total hit points.
just wanted to make sure. That bites down, rips out your guts, and as it stands back up, Firen hits the ground, a bloody mess.
Good to know that it's Firen's turn now to be boinked back down, back down, back down.
And then the other one has 2 targets now, so a bite at Kinvalar. Does a 17 hit you?
A 17 does not hit me.
And then a backhand at Farbolt. I'm assuming a 13 misses Farbolt.
Yes.
Does a 15 hit Farbolt?
No.
Yeah, it bites at Kinvalar and then rakes both of its claws at Farbolt, but the 2 of you are just too agile and dance out of the way and keep from getting hit, which makes it Miracle's turn.
Okay. That is well within my range, so I'm gonna...
I think my lesson today is that the heavily armored feat is useful just for cutting the time it takes to put in heavy armor in half.
It's true.
Right?
Action, feed you a good berry, welcome back to not being dead.
Thunk.
Yeah, have 1 hit point.
1 is not 0.
It
One is a
indeed not
non-zero number, yes.
It's almost like a sensu bean, only it doesn't actually restore my stamina.
Look, it's a first level spell.
I know.
That
It's
consistently heals 10 health
The
in
ninth-
optimal condition.
the Goodberry cast at 9th at a 9th level spell slot is the Sensu Bean.
So you're telling me there's a cat druid somewhere that we need to find?
Yes.
Okay.
A Tabaxi Druid, yes.
And I can't bonus action anything, so I'm just hoping it'll hit me instead.
All right.
That's the best I can do.
Run over, pop a thing down into his face. And that makes it the noble's turn, who stabs into it.
I mean, if I'm conscious, am I technically a threat still?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not standing. You're on the ground, lying there pathetically right now. And she misses. She would have missed even with advantage, so. Kindler.
All right. First things.
I will note that you did notice firing going down. And all of you
Yes.
have noticed that these guys do 3 attacks.
Yes. So, first things first. I will. I'm actually gonna send the last 2 of my meteors flying towards the other one.
All right.
The one that is currently potentially threatening firing. Hey, I can finally do decent damage.
Hey, let's see if it dodges. A 12 and a
Nice.
12. means it
Nice,
misses.
17 fire damage.
So these two minute meteors just get it in the face, one after the other, and as the smoke clears, you notice that its face is just a caved-in, blackened mass as it slumps off to one side.
All right. And then for my primary, that was my bonus action. So, wow, I really am built to be a troll hunter. I'm a cast a level 3 Mel's acid arrow at the one in front of me.
As it turns out, Melf hated trolls.
Melf really hated trolls.
Elves and trolls are not friends.
And
It took me longer than it really should have to realize what Melf was.
A male elf?
Yeah. It took me until Matt Mercer said it.
It took until Matt Mercer said it for me as well.
So now I do not have disadvantage because flank.
Yep.
And
Straight roll.
24 hits.
24. What the fuck?
24 hits. I was just 2 off from being a crit, man.
As cast at level 3, that will be 13, 16 damage. Alright, what's that?
Oh.
Sorry,
Double
that
ones
is-
on the higher level cast.
That is 12 damage. 12 damage this round. And then at the end of its next turn, another 4 acid.
Got it. So yeah, this acid arrow just splashes into it, and you see where it's starting to melt the flesh. Fortunately, none of you have done enough slashing damage to it in one turn to sever a limb.
Well, and we've been doing a shit ton of other
Fire and
types
acid,
of...
yeah.
I've also been rolling poorly when you do roll slashing damage.
Yeah.
Go the rapier and dagger do piercing damage.
Yep, it's true.
So do arrows.
I think I'm the only person who's done slashing, and it's always come right along with...
Firen has 2. Firen, it's your turn.
The crit did enough slashing damage.
I mean, the good news, you're not hitting at anything. So,
Well, better to potentially end this now and heal myself in a couple of seconds.
no, it's not. Oh my god.
He's a noble paladin. It's what he does.
Yes, he was a noble paladin.
Self-sacrifice is kind
a
of the
stupid
tenet.
paladin, but a noble paladin.
Self-sacrifice is a way of life.
So bonus action for a second level Searing Smite.
Swing that sword. You do have advantage. An 11, however, misses.
22 hits.
A 22 hits.
4 slashing, and then Searing Smite at second level. At 7 fire damage, and con save or be ignited.
It rolled a 14.
Damn it, that is the DC.
Firebolt!
I want you light on fire!
As fire and dashes cuts him, just kind of dash in for 2 quick strikes.
So yeah, Firen runs past you, slicing through with a longsword, fire trailing behind. and then much like the Chrono Trigger X strike, you dash in with a rapier.
I'm assuming 21 will hit.
A 21 hits. How would you like to kill it?
I was right.
As Fyron comes in, he slashes out at it, and it's come ducking under his strike with just coming upwards with the rapier as right underneath his fire strike.
Again, referencing Chrono Trigger's X strike, Fyron slices across with a flaming blade, and then as the blade clears, Farbolt is underneath it, coming up, spearing this creature through the throat with his rapier and just carrying over and down, slamming it into the ground and dead.
And as soon as combat ends, I lay on hands myself.
Oh,
for all
wait.
25
No.
minutes.
So, given that I have the next action and I spent 2 spells on Goodberry already, I'm just going to give you, like...
a handful.
10 good berries.
Take 8. I'm stingy.
Giving 80% of your Goodberry stock is not stingy.
Is that 8 good berries to me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll also eat those 8 good berries and go to 34 hit points.
Just open, distant jaw shoving Goodberries. So you have 2 dead trolls here.
To be fair, I did just technically eat enough sustenance for like 8 days worth of meals in forms of 8 small berries.
Fortunately, it's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not how it actually works, but...
So we're supposed to burn these things, right? Good.
You see the barkeep has grabbed a lit torch and is like stabbing it into the troll corpses currently.
And I will just
So
start
this is the
throwing
stable?
flame.
Yeah.
Are we still inside the
firebolts
stable?
at
No, you're
them.
you're
Probably
right.
roll the
you're-
corpses outside.
You are right outside the stable. They
Outside.
didn't get in.
They're
I
trying
was
to...
gonna say.
Miracle is
Otherwise, our
going
horses would
to...
be dead.
is not much help with the fire stuff. So he's going to go into the stable and try and make sure all the animals are calm and there's not going to be a stampede.
Give me an animal handling check.
I was going to say, I'm going to try and go in and make sure that Gilded May is safe and is all right.
Check on Vala, will you?
13.
So fortunately, you and Fyron both go in there. Fyron's still bleeding slightly from the massive trauma that he just sustained. You both go in and you determine very quickly that the horses, while skittish, are pretty calm, surprisingly calm, relatively. And Fyron very quickly realizes that Gilded Mane has been keeping the horses calm with its celestial presence.
Thank you, brother.
Gilded
There's
Mane.
an angel horse here to protect you.
Basically, yes. When a celestial horse is in a stable with other horses, it can bolster their courage and resolve.
You got Shadowfax sitting amongst a bunch of regular horses, you know.
So yeah, you guys go in. The horses are most. There's some of them are skittish, but for the most part they're fine. Outside, the
Firebolt. Firebolt.
You guys are burning down the
Firebolt.
burning down the corpses doesn't take too long. They light very quickly once they're dead, almost like kindling, and just. Well, thank you guys. Thank you very much for your assistance, she says, putting the torch up in a bracket.
Wouldn't think trolls hate being lit on fire with how easily they take.
Oh. I should probably introduce myself. I'm Tamerlan Zor, the owner of this establishment, and through extension, the rest of the town. Thank you guys very much for your assistance.
Of course, more than happy to help.
So it seems the rumors are true that the trolls are being chased out of the Evermore.
Yes. We're not certain what is causing them to come south, but troll attacks and sightings have been increasing recently in the outlying areas, and as you can see, they've grown bold enough to try to come in town for food. You wouldn't happen to be a group of adventurers, would you?
I mean,
No.
yes.
If you're up for it,
I feel like that was a rhetorical question.
It was, yes. If you're up for it, I could use somebody to try to find out exactly what's causing this. And in return, I will be willing to give you a letter of recommendation. It's a letter of recommendation that will earn you a powerful friend in Everland if you give it to the half-orc innkeeper at Danavar's house. Alternatively, you could give it to the Hand of Yarder if you wanted to earn a special favor, but that would require you going back to Yarder.
Well, we can certainly use friends in higher places. I'm sort of out of my depth where I'm from.
Certainly, and none. There isn't an absolutely crucial time frame on our other other goals. So, yes, I absolutely.
Well, the trolls are from the Evermoors, so if you're looking for what would be causing it, you need to go there. I would recommend buying very good boots.
I completely forgot to point to my shirt when our rogue got the kill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking Fyron's shirt is ripped to shreds and bloody. I don't
No,
know.
no.
Yeah, I was confused
My
there for
shirt.
a moment too.
Your shirt. So yes, you have fended off these trolls, and have accepted a quest from from Tamlin Zoar, the noble lady who runs the town. And with that, we're going to take a quick break so we can stretch our legs. The stream will go down temporarily as I switch to a different ingest server to see if we can clear up some of the stuttering we're having. But the local recorder will be unaffected. So those of you watching on YouTube, go ahead and get yourselves a drink. And those of you watching on Twitch,
If we
also get yourself a drink.
don't come back, don't worry, you'll still be able to watch.
It's true.
Live, everybody.
Live, and we're back in just a bit. And we're back on a different ingest server. We tried a couple different ingest servers over the break, and New York was absolutely not. And Florida, funnily enough, was slightly better. So we're on Florida. We're at Florida now.
Words you never hear. Thank God, Florida.
Only slightly better. Not perfect yet. The ingest servers are still having issues of some kind.
We'll take what we can get.
So yeah. You all have just gone back and finished your long rest again. After fighting off some trolls. And you've accepted a mission from the leader of Calling Horns to go north into the Evermoors to find out what is driving trolls south.
Yep. Because we don't have enough quests as it is. We are full World of Warcrafting this.
Just like you have the line of quests, just like waiting,
Yep.
and you're never going to complete all of them.
You know that at some point you're just going to abandon like at least 2 or 3 of them? Yeah.
We've out-leveled this one.
Hey,
so
we
it's,
never made any promises. I never made any promises.
except for the delivery.
I was
The
gonna say,
delivery is about the only promise we made. The others we'll look into.
All right.
Yep.
You are currently in Calling Horns. Just heading straight north, or are you stopping to get anything while you're there?
First thing, are we able to leave the cart here? Don't want
It
to.
would be very advisable to do.
Don't want to take this thing into the swamplands here.
Yeah.
Since we're looking into this for what was the innkeeper's name again?
The innkeeper is Tamerlane Zoar.
Tamerlane, yeah. I'm sure we asked Tamerlane, can we leave our cart here? So we assume this will be watched over as we
can
go
keep-
about this
We
business.
can keep it in the stables, with where it has been.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the cart will be safe in the stables at
Okay.
Calling Horns.
All right. Well, let's head. I'm almost a little hesitant even to bring the horses, but the Evermore being as large as it is, it's probably best that we have a little bit more effective form of travel.
Unless you want to double up on the horses and only bring like Firen and mine's kind of a rental.
Now we should be good. Let's go ahead and head out.
With the horses or without, knowing that you are hunting trolls.
I mean,
Can I get a nature check for best option?
Sure.
I have no reason to not bring my horse.
Give me a nature check.
Yes. No, yours for sure.
So, I mean, the horses will definitely provide nice amounts of bait for creatures that want to eat them, like trolls. Alternatively, everything in the Evermoors will probably eat your horses.
I think Vala's going to stay behind.
It is definitely
Horse too nice to use for adventuring.
having horses in the Evermoors would help you traverse it. It is their fog shrouded hills, bogs, rocky ridges, small peaks.
Yeah.
Like it's a moor. It's wet and foggy and marshy and boggy.
Also, they don't call it the Troll Moors for nothing.
Yeah, it's all yeah. You would also know its colloquial name is the Troll Moors because there's lots of trolls.
Yeah.
And just about everything that lives in the Evermoors will eat your horses.
Okay.
That is not a clever marketing scheme by those that live in the
Clever
moors
marketing
to
scheme
try
in the
and
same way Greenland and Iceland are a clever marketing scheme.
right. Yeah. So yeah, I will go ahead and leave
Well, to be
leave
fair-
Vala at the stable.
Greenland and Iceland was a clever marketing scheme. It was just a marketing scheme to get people to go away.
Well, it was to come to one and go away from the other. Yeah. All right. So, just taking Gilded Mane, or what? Or are you leaving Gilded Mane with the other horses to keep them safe?
I'm taking Gilded Mane because Gilded Mane can handle it.
All right.
Or, he can poof.
Yeah, Gilded Mane is a badass.
At the very least,
He
when
can- he
Gilded
can
Mane
handle
gets eaten by a troll, he won't actually get eaten by a troll.
I mean, he will still get eaten. It's still gonna be horrific for him.
It'd be horrific, but we can come back in the morning.
it's when they hit 0 that they poof away and are technically unsummoned.
It's everything before hitting 0 that.
As your poor magic
All I'm saying is Gilded Mane has a better chance of hitting and deals more damage on average than I do.
That's also true and fair.
All right.
Gilded Mane has a +6 to hit and on average deals 11 damage.
So you guys head north. It takes you half a day to get up north. The grassland is pretty clear, and then there is a very immediate line of demarcation between the grasslands and the Evermoors. It's very abrupt, as you sort of like step up to what you think. It's like you sort of come down a grassy hill, and then at the bottom of the hill is marsh. And as soon as you hit it, all of you know you're in the Evermoors, or right there. Stretching before you, again, is just a vast, unsettled area of fog-shrouded hills, cold bogs, rocky ridges. You can see it's very difficult to see very far ahead of you. Just about 100 feet ahead, you lose sight. It just is so foggy and dense.
Now, from the night when we saw the fires and things, do we know roughly which direction?
That was much further to the west than where you are now.
Okay.
You had not yet crossed the Cerberin when you saw those fires, and the Cerberin, the Evermoors feeds into the Cerberin River. So, like, the Cerberin is sort of the edge of where you would possibly get to the Evermoors.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I'm going to need survival checks from everyone.
The dice know what I'm supposed to be good at sometimes.
The low wisdom ranger rolls a 17 on survival.
It's not low wisdom so much as
Have advantage with 12.
slightly above average everything ranger.
So most of you avoid places like this for a reason. It's hard to get around. It's sticky and messy and not fun. Miracle, you have at least experienced this before and know how sort of the best ways to traverse, like sort of watch out for sinkholes, if you see a rock, try to get up on top of it, move from rock to rock if you can. And so you make sort of decent time just heading straight north. What are you guys just wanting to cross the Evermoors and see what you see? Are you wanting to sort of circle around and spiral out? What are you trying to do in searching for whatever's causing these trolls to flee?
Next ask Miracle. Do you think any way we can backtrack to see where those two trolls came out of?
If you would like to have an answer to that question, you can roll me a nature or a survival check.
I will go ahead and roll that as well.
That was a question to you, Aaron.
Miracle.
Sorry, it's early. What?
Is it possible to see if we can find any traces of where those two trolls came out of?
Give me a nature or a survival check if you want.
not something I would be good at doing.
I could also probably ask the animal.
Kindler, and actually both Kindler and Miracle, you both, with those roles, it's hard to track things in the Evermoors.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ground is perpetually wet. And where it's not wet, it's rocky. And those two things are some of the hardest terrain to track things through.
I mean, like, if I wanted to do that, we probably could have asked the animals outside of the Evermore if they saw Trey. Where they saw trolls come out of, on the road, that sort of thing. But...
Well, from the rumors that the guards are speaking of, that something's been chasing them out. So, for something to chase
we
trolls
could ask
out,
animals about.
that
Animals are very
for some,
good and clever.
that would be good because to chase the trolls out, it would have to be something that could, kill them. So, something that's burning.
Something more dangerous than trolls, potentially burning. Can I try and find whatever native wildlife might be around here?
How would you like to try to find it?
I'm a ranger, so essentially looking. Because speak with animals does not summon animals.
Sure. I just didn't know if you had a spell or not. Give me a survival check. So you start looking around and sort of seeing if you can find any signs of native animals to the Evermoors, and you very quickly realize trolls are the native animals to the Evermoors. There's
no like insectoids.
There's a variety of insect life that lives in the Evermoors as well, but you also kind of know that they don't give a lot of information. You've talked to insects before. They don't see a lot and they don't know a lot.
Fine. That's a weird biosphere, but that's okay.
Mostly the reason why there's not a lot of life in the Evermoors is because of the trolls. They eat everything.
They eat a lot.
We'll save the fantasy to reality discussion for not.
So yeah,
that's not how animals that eat a lot work.
Right. It's fine. I mean, I think the easiest way is just going to be start heading in.
Can get an aerial view? Anything?
Maybe.
I could send relics up.
Because like I said, if something's chasing them out, there should be some kind of carnage visible. Hopefully.
See, I will send relics into high, so as not to be within troll grabbing and devouring range.
Okay.
To get us sort of a better land idea of what the environment ahead is. See if there's any places where the trolls hovels or wherever they might be. They might have
something
been
that might look
living.
like a smoking crater.
Okay.
Etc.
And give me a perception check on relics.
Yep. Dunk. 19.
So relics flies out. Are you viewing through relics' eyes, or are you waiting for relics to report back?
Through. I will shut my eyes, meditate, and make that connection.
Okay, so relics takes off. It's very foggy and very difficult to see. But after flying for a bit, you hear loud, deep voices coming from the northeast.
Okay.
And just sort of out of curiosity, flip that way. And you find a sort of a rocky outcropping, a rocky ridge protruding from the moors. And on top of this moor, from a good distance away, Rilix can see a small herd of ogres. You just quick counting, you see about 5 ogres standing around, arguing. You don't speak giant, do you?
I do not speak giant. I speak orc and elven and common.
Yeah, so they are in this loud and thunderous language. They are sort of, you can definitely tell from the emotions that they're doing, arguing back and forth on this ridge, and that's pretty much the primary thing you find with Relix is this group of ogres just having at each other. They're not attacking each other, but they are fairly aggressively postured
Can I
and speaking.
insight to determine are they scared? Are they
Sure. Give me an insight roll.
all right? 6.
It's hard to tell.
They're arguing.
They are arguing. You're not sure about what. None of them seem. None of them are like. They aren't like shaking their knees and biting their fingernails scared.
Right.
They just seem more irritated with one another than anything else.
Okay. So I call Relix back and then I open eyes. So there's a group of ogres that way that are in the middle of arguing with each other. I don't know that they would necessarily be the threat to the trolls.
My son doesn't like water. We're learning.
But if perhaps I almost hesitate to mention it because it didn't work out so well last time, but if we could perhaps have try and engage them in conversation. Look over at Miracle.
Oh, so now you want to talk to them only when it's advantageous to you? What happened to kill all of these people? They're clearly obviously
let you
dangerous.
talk to the hill giant.
Yes, I'll talk to them.
There is only the one group, which was the bandits, which were clearly preying on and murdering by innocent people that I was not willing to talk to.
Okay. Next time you want to talk to someone, even if they can't understand you, it's really rude to say we should murder them repeatedly while we're in front of them.
Never said we should murder anyone.
So, behind their back then.
Did I ever say? I look over at Farron. Did I ever say we should murder everyone to any of the groups?
Not explicitly, no.
I didn't think so.
Plume of thaumaturgy smoke that goes off the Miracle's head.
So we need to find.
Yes,
back
they
to the
are
ogres.
this way.
This
way.
The direction.
How likely are they to just decide to try to eat us, though?
I mean, that is a distinct possibility, but they also... I don't believe, looking at Miracle, I don't believe we should assume so. Is that quite all right? There.
I'll stealth.
We should be prepared for that possibility, but...
Give me stealth checks.
Yeah.
As I try to angle my phone, my microphone, so that when my child squeals off to one side, it doesn't pierce everyone's eardrums.
Okay, now it's getting back to normal, and I'm rolling like I normally roll.
Alright, so a 20 stealth from Miracle, and 18 stealth from Farbolt, and 9 stealth from Kinglar. Firing, let's get your stealth roll.
Yeah, 1 second. Stealth.
And the
I'm
stealth roll for
wearing
Gilded
heavy
Mane.
armor, so...
Disadvantage.
Look at that one.
Got a 1. That's also going to stealth roll for Gilded Mane.
It's a dexterity check from Gilden Main, so 5. presumably.
Yep, that's 5. I don't know why it's whispering it to me. Let me fix that for you.
You can also set it on advantage. Oh, yeah, I can set it on. I can change that. Hang on.
Yeah, change it to not whisper and etc.
Never whisper and advantage.
Toggle. All right. So Miracle and Farble, you guys, sort of silently walking, trying to you're finding the best spots to put your feet so you don't make too much noise as you slog through the marsh. Gilded Mane, Kinvalar, and Firen, however.
I did forget to bring good boots.
You were told to.
We were explicitly told to, and I forgot.
I am riding a horse. And my boots are already pretty good.
You're getting like muck in everywhere you don't want to get muck in. And Firen, you're actually not riding Gilded Mane because you don't want Gilded Mane to accidentally step in a sinkhole and have you on top of him.
That's fair.
Because that would be bad for both of you. Right. Wanted a minute ago. Now you want it? Child? No, you don't actually want it. Come here. Okay. Everyone say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Alright. So you're sort of slomping through this marsh area. And you're pretty loud. Fortunately, the ogres are louder, as you guys very quickly begin to hear them arguing in Giant. The only one of you that can speak Giant hears and understands they're lost. Like,
Okay.
you can hear them arguing about how they're trying to get to Groodhog, and someone decided to go straight through the Evermoors instead of going around, just because they didn't want to have to, hide from the elves in Silvery Moon, and now they're fucking lost in the Evermoors because none of them have a map. None of them know. They just know it was on the other side of the Evermoors, but they don't know which side of the Evermoors is the other side. And so that's the argument you're getting from about of the 5 ogres. 2 of them are like, no, we just need to keep going this way, and the other 3 are like, no, we need to go back and go around like we were supposed to. And that's pretty much what you're picking up as you approach. And then once you guys get within like 100 feet, yeah, you can see them. They're on a ridge. They're sort of a large rocky outcropping where it looks like they've sort of set up a camp, so that they're not in the water.
Miracle will translate. They're lost. They're trying to get to place name here.
Groodhog.
Groodhog.
Do we know where that is?
No.
What that is?
Nope.
So
They don't have a map, and they wanted.
Can I roll a history check to...
You do not know
Yes.
what Groodhog is. It is not anything any of you have ever heard before.
Well, quite frankly, I don't blame them.
So I think we can rule out that these are what's chasing trolls out.
I think that is fair to say. But they still may know.
If
They may have
encountered
seen
anything.
some-
They've been in the area. They may have seen it. Yeah.
They've seen something, so they may say something.
Ignore the
Ah.
Do we want to approach?
Well, if we do a
Miracle's going to sort of unstealth and just sort of walk up. Wave
I
hi.
guess we do.
I heard your voice.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
What? What?
I prioritize child. It's okay.
What? What is the matter? What do you... Stop trying to take things off of my face.
Well, that's what he wants.
You can play with the headphones. Play with the headphones. Anyways.
Or with
sorry,
your hair.
What were you doing?
Unstealthing and very politely and cautiously. It was an 8 on that check, not a 1. Walk up. I couldn't help but overhear. You're looking for a map?
Okay.
My.
So the
Okay. It's okay. I've learned lightning bolt.
the ogres are sort of in the middle of arguing. How loudly do you try to say anything? Do you yell or do you just like politely speak?
Depending on how loud it is, he's not yelling, but in the very Miracle was a professor kind of way, I am going to make myself heard, and I have thaumaturgical magic. So in a very even tone, not yelling.
Just very loud.
Probably be loud enough that he estimates he would be heard.
Give me a charisma check.
Okay. I think my spellcasting modifier is actually intelligence, but 3.
That's not what this is.
Yeah, check save
so-
those things.
No. What I'm saying is, you said your spellcasting modifier is wisdom, but that's not what.
No, for
Um,
thought, it's intelligence.
oh,
Never.
either way, it's not. That's not what this is. This isn't a spellcasting check. You try to you sort of put yourself out there, trying to be loud and diplomatic, and you very quickly realize that they didn't hear you.
Okay.
Whatever it is about the quality of your voice, it wasn't necessarily the volume, but they're arguing in giant, and they didn't pick up another voice while they're going back and forth bickering. Doesn't seem like they even
Is any of them like, gosh, we should have just asked for directions?
No,
Okay.
none of them.
Because they're ogres.
They all know they're right, even though they're not.
Well, the good news is it looks like it appears as if they haven't noticed Miracle yet. So
I
perhaps
think he's going
we will
to keep pushing until they do notice him.
We can hope not. Look back.
There's a certain amount of hope and faith, but there's also a certain amount of experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Miracle's done.
Has about 3 sets of eyes.
There's
Turn
kind
back.
of what's he gonna do?
No, at this point he's just gonna wait, see if they can resolve this on their own, and if they can't, I'm here to enlighten them with textual sources.
You're so
Can we see? Can
I
I
think
see
Miracle's
from,
actually going to
vantage
stand
point,
there until they notice him.
How long have these? Does
Maybe
it look
they
like
never
they've been
will.
there? Have they? Do they have like a camp set
Yeah,
up?
they have a
or is
camp
it
set
just-
up. Like there's a camp set up on this rocky outcropping.
We can't move on without Miracle, though. So if one of you who doesn't sound like full plate walking around could retrieve our ranger.
So while you guys are having that discussion, one of them looks over and Miracle. Wait.
And I'll repeat that
Wait. This is all
I
giant.
can't help but overhear it. Sounded like you were potentially looking for a map.
We have an eavesdropper. One of them looks over. What do you want? And they sort of like, doom, 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 doom. It doesn't seem like they've quite heard you yet either way. And so now these 5 ogres all, doom, doom, doom.
Seriously, with thaumaturgy?
Yeah. They
Hail made her save us all.
They have a -2 to their wisdom. I don't think you understand how low perception they are, how hard of hearing they are.
I like that you pray to the god of suffering to save us.
So yeah, they
They're
sort
about
of
to suffer.
Yeah.
the 3 of you out there sort of see these ogres approach and just sort of like semicircle surround Miracle. And
I'm ready.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. I am a fellow
Try to
traveler.
work my way around to the side a little bit, so kind of perpendicular from where Fyron and Kinvalar are.
I'm a fellow traveler. I heard that you seem to have some level of challenge navigating and might be looking for a map.
You have a map?
I do. We're looking for some fires that started before. I was hoping you might know where they are.
Hmm.
But I am of course happy to, and I'll show them the map.
And you hold up the map, and they sort of lean down and look at it.
I'm sorry, it's quite small.
You know where we are right now, because you point.
Miracle will indicate we're about here.
Oh, see, I told you, we just had to keep going. And they start an argument again really quickly. We just need to keep going this way, and then we're at Grood Hog. Like, oh, well, I mean, we should have gone back but and they argue. After a while, they come to an agreement and look back down. One of them
mentally marking Grood Hall on the map in case it becomes relevant later.
They don't point to where it is.
But the direction they end up choosing to go.
Got it. Right. So, what you want, little one, again?
Oh, we're looking for something that was scaring trolls, possibly fires, if you happen to know what that was.
Well...
Kinvalar's mouth is like...
We don't know. I mean, this is all in giant, so...
Yeah.
No, yes, but... Everything seems to be going well, and Kinvalar doesn't know what that means.
They haven't tried to eat him yet.
Before.
That's of course fine. It's just we're traveling as well. Thank you for your help.
Well, there was if you go further north, there's a big lake in the middle of the moors, and there was it was what's it called? What you? And smacks one of the other ogres across the face. It's just like, what's it called? There's one in Fire Giants, isn't it? Yeah, there's a fire giant up by the lake in the moors. Maybe that's the fire?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, you
have a nice trip.
They start arguing amongst each other and walk off south.
As Miracle starts coming back, I'm just like, thank you, Ilmater, for the grace you have shown us this day. We'll take our suffering upon someone else.
This unabashed shock.
Okay, he's a little smug. See?
Just come back. Yeah, come back.
Races.
That was impressive.
Are sentient.
That was impressive.
I say to a collection of people, they don't think any of them share a race.
I am the person who suggests I did.
I know it worked. See, it's not that weird.
So what did you find out?
If it had been a traveling group of elves from Silvery Moon or wherever, would you be so surprised?
Actually, a little bit, in all honesty.
Well,
oh right.
To be fair, the elves of Silvery Moon wouldn't try to eat us.
Probably not. You never know. There are always rumors. Not of elves in specific, but...
Anyway, what did you find out?
Okay, so I think the core issue is that you're not very trustworthy, and you tend to see the world as a combat.
Oh no, I'm very. So what do we know?
Oh right,
He's
you
so
guys
freaking flabbergasted by the fact that he's not fighting.
Apparently, they're headed this way because they're traveling, of course. But for us, they mentioned that there's a fire giant who's made a home of some sort in the lake here. Indicate roughly where it is on the map, which is apparently might be causing fires and seems significant enough to be scaring the trolls.
That would certainly be something that would drive the trolls away from
I have
him.
a very sinking suspicion that a large amount of the troubles in this land are related to this problem that's going on among the giants.
That does seem to be a recurring theme.
So what are the possibilities that this is one of the giants that ran away from us before?
Knowing where they went as I did, do I think so?
Did they run
No,
this direction?
The Cerberan Hills are more to the west than where you are.
I mean, the hills are not really in this direction, and I'll indicate them on the map. They're sort of over here. We're kind of here, or we're kind of going here if we're going after the giant.
I was kind of hoping it would be the same giants, because then that means there wouldn't be two groups of giants out wandering about doing God know what.
Well, they weren't actually specific about numbers. It could just be one giant. But yeah, so I guess the next question is, do we want to pursue this, or are we good just knowing?
Well, we were requested to try and see what we could do about it.
Because
All right.
the townspeople will be ill-equipped to deal with a fire giant, I would think.
At the very least,
Um,
we might actually be able to.
Specifically, the request was to find out what's forcing them out.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
at least find out
so-
for certain.
Yeah.
Which is why I was trying to figure out whether we wanted to go further or not. Quest is check the box and report
Well,
back.
You were just told that there may be a fire giant to the north. You haven't actually confirmed that that's what's driving trolls south.
We can at least find out for certain before we head back.
Fair enough. Travelers can have outdated information, all that.
But we'll have to be extra careful from here, because if this is what's chasing trolls out, they'll be possibly coming this direction.
Also, there have been travelers who have mistaken in lights and reflecting off the swamp mists for ghosts of the fallen. So, you know.
Speaking of which, yes, there have been plenty of rumors of wraiths and ghosts that the guards have been talking about, mostly towards the keep and everything, but the rumors abound.
Should we be worried about ghosts on the way to Nonar's Hold, then?
Yes, that is a...
Well, that's something to keep in mind. Shall we?
Right.
So you guys, it's getting sort of at this point. It's getting kind of late. So you guys will. I'm assuming you'll probably want to make camp on that rocky outcropping that the ogres have sort of left behind.
Yeah.
Once they vacate, yeah.
No, they just walked right off. They didn't even take their stuff because they're idiots. So yeah, you guys make camp.
I'll be sure that their stuff is left like at a distance, so if they come back for it by any chance, they'll just find their stuff.
So yeah, you guys, how do you set watches?
I will take first watch.
I'll take a watch. I'll take second.
Second watch.
I'll take
Theoretically, you
third.
could be back on third watch, Kindler, but I will take third watch.
Elves do require a full 8 hours of rest.
They're only asleep for a few hours.
Yeah, they're
of
only
rest,
asleep
though.
for 4 hours, but they still need the remaining 4 hours to rest.
If that's your ruling, that's your ruling. So go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Light duties. Alright, so you guys take your watches.
Prepping spells, in
Yeah,
other words.
prepping spells. Yeah, like it's you're prepping spells, meditating, relaxing, calming your mind, getting in touch with your mana, things like that. It's not you're not asleep.
Yeah.
So you guys watch the night. Nothing too terrible happens. You do hear the occasional.
Did we just lose? Is it just me that just lost everything, or?
Yes.
Did you? I haven't lost anything.
I can still see you.
No.
All I heard was you guys, and then everything froze for like 2 seconds.
Oh, that's weird. But yeah, you guys, you all, blah, blah, blah. I lost my train of thought. You rest for the evening.
Yes, we rest for the evening. Nothing happens.
Nothing
we
happens.
win the adventure. Good game, guys.
You do hear the occasional thumping in the distance. Those of you that are on watch, you're not certain what it is, but it's off to the north. You just hear this occasional sounds, and that's pretty much all you notice. Is there anything that you guys are doing on your watches other than watching and hearing that?
I will, I'll probably have at some point have my hawk fly sort of directly up to get an overhead view, see if they see anything.
Give me a perception check on the hawk. Visual, so it doesn't get advantage.
Yay. $22.
Yeah. So the fog covers a lot, and so the hawk. I'm assuming you don't want the hawk to be flying so low that it's visible. But it does. There is sort of a break in the fog to the north, and in that break, the hawk is seeing bright lights that coincide with the thumping. And you imagine that you imagine that it probably is related, and that might be sort of a sign of the fire giant that you're told is there.
Okay. Fire giant there. Sorry. So, am I correct in assuming that that corresponds to where they mark on the map the lake, or no?
Yeah, that's heading.
Okay.
It's north of you, roughly in the direction of that.
Storing that confirmation.
Mhm.
But that's all I'm doing.
Okay. So yeah, night passes. The thumping continues. After a while, it stops, and you guys find yourselves awake in the next morning, still in the bog, and with a direction to travel.
Alrighty, let's head off.
Right, give me survival checks, everybody. And survival checks for the horse as well. It can't ride on your shoulder.
Yay!
20. Hey. Actually, a roll that wasn't crap.
That's your one
Or
for the
horse.
That's your one for the session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on just a second.
8 for Firebolt, a 20 from Firen.
7.
4 from
Did
Gilded
I
Main.
not roll?
It did not roll.
Sorry.
7 from
Press the
Kinvalar.
button. Never
And a
showed
10
it.
from me. So, at roughly the same time as you guys are moving forward, Miracle and Firen sort of, again, you're sort of finding those correct places to place your feet. And for whatever reason, at roughly the same time, Farbolt, Kinvalar, and Gilded Mane all step into the same sinkhole. It's just like a trench, sort of a trench in the marsh. And all three of you just stumble forward, and 2 of you fall in. The horse manages to keep itself from falling in because it has 4 legs.
Yeah.
And
I was about to say.
the front end of Gilded Mane drops with the 2 of them in unison, but then Gilded Mane just pulls itself backwards.
Okay, I was about to say, if Gilded Mane had somehow managed to fall in entirely, I could just dismiss them and summon them back.
The two of you find yourselves chest deep in muck, and my son finds it amusing.
Well, is it possible to find a handhold anywhere?
Yeah, you can climb back out easy enough. It's
Yeah.
just that you are covered in muck now.
Try
Also,
and
I've
help
got
out
some
climb
rope
out.
or something. I can help you if you need.
Nope. As I get out prestidigitation, I'm.
I look over.
Oh boy. Oh, I suppose you'd like some help too, huh?
Uh-huh.
Do the same. Do the same to
Thank
Kim
you.
Villar.
Right? Yeah, you pull yourselves back out, and
Lovely place. I can't imagine why the trolls want to leave it.
so you pull yourselves back out, and at roughly that point in time, as you back out of the water, you notice that thumping sound again. It's a lot closer. It's just
So, as a ranger, I get. Let me check the exact wording on favorite enemy. I have advantage on wisdom, survival, and intelligence checks about my favorite enemy.
okay.
Would either of those let me make a roll for is this fire giant correspondent?
Sure, make me a nature roll with advantage,
Okay.
or with advantage or double your proficiency.
You have advantage on wisdom, survival, as well as intelligence checks.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, nature is an intelligence, I believe, isn't it?
Nature is an intelligence.
Yep. So give me a nature with advantage.
24.
24? I mean, it certainly sounds like the stomping of a. It sounds like the stomping of a giant of some kind. And having experienced fire giants up close, you pretty assume. Yeah, you've heard the sound before.
Goodberry is cast. Fire giant incoming. Probably.
It doesn't sound like it's coming near to you. It just sounds like it's stomping around somewhere to the north.
Fire giant nearby. Probably. I cast Goodberry anyway.
Yep.
I'm trusting, not stupid.
Nope. Don't hit the mic.
Would you like to negotiate with it?
I mean,
I'm
I don't
asking
see
in
reason
general.
to
I'm asking in
randomly
genuine.
attack someone for living in a martial act not being used by the civilized world, but it might be nice to ask why they're here, if there's something we can do to get them to move, given that it is very inconvenient for the local wildlife.
How will we observe to see what it's doing before we decide to talk to it?
Okay.
That is not the worst idea we've had.
I mean, if it is
Well,
just wandering
why don't you
about
go
and
ahead,
camping.
because you're the one who can actually sneak.
Okay.
Just
I'll work my way ahead of the
sneak up.
group
Max,
to see if I can see.
Remember anything it happens to say, but I know you don't speak giant.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna sneak forward ahead of the group and see if I can see what I see.
All right. Go ahead and stealth.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I actually have a better stealth bonus than you do.
Wait,
Plus
you?
10?
I got a plus 10.
Oh, plus 10. I'm sorry. I saw. Never mind. I saw
rolled a
10,
15. Oh my God.
15, and thought plus 5. Because I'm plus
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, plus 10. I only got a 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because us.
So, you sort of stealth forward, and eventually you sort of get close enough to where you can see the edge of the lake. And at the edge of the lake, you see a massive, black-armored, red-haired female fire giant, who is currently beating the shit out of a troll. And not like stabbing with a sword, like she's holding this troll with one hand and slapping back and forth with the other hand, and yelling at it in giant.
Just gonna say, is it repeating? Is it just random sounds, or is there like a word or something that I hear being repeated?
It's definitely saying sentences. It's not saying the same thing over and over again. But you don't know what it's saying because you don't speak giant. But
Yeah.
it is definitely abusing this troll for some reason.
Insight check. Is it doing this? Looking to see, is it doing this for fun, or is it doing this,
Pissed.
pissed, frustration, or is it trying to
Give me an insight
get
check.
something out of the troll?
It is angry. It is angry at the troll. It is not so angry. I mean, it is very angry at the troll for what you don't know. You just know that it is angry at the troll.
Okay. I'll just
You imagine
watch
that if you
for.
understood what it was saying, you could tell why it was angry at the troll. But
No, it's one of those just to see if it was smacking around in amusement, if it's just angry, taking its frustrations out, or if it's trying to get something out of the troll.
you don't have to be so loud, boy.
I think my internet's having weird things because everything froze
Here
for
we
a second.
have my
then when
son imitating the fire giant.
everything froze for a second, and when I came back, it was mid scream. So
Yeah.
it was just
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
I
control
will
him.
work my way back. I'll work my way back to the group and just go. Yeah, it's slapping a troll around. So I don't know why. She didn't seem to be all that happy, but yeah.
I look over at Miracle.
I have no idea what
Okay.
she was yelling something. I
My
have no idea
turn.
what.
I'm also gonna try and stealth over there and see if I can keep my distance but get into audible range.
Give me a stealth
Most
check.
large and larger creatures tend to talk fairly loud.
I am also going to
They're
stealth to
yelling.
try and get in a potentially advantageous position.
All right.
Since right now
I don't have advantage. 11.
it sounds like the troll or the fire giant is currently occupied with the ass beating, so I'm hopeful. So I might be okay.
11. But again, I'm not trying to walk up. I'm just trying to get into audible range.
Okay.
17.
Hang on 1 second. I'm trying to do this all with one hand. Boy, I really need you to stop. He's trying to eat my headphones.
As you do.
That's not food, but okay.
No, it's not. It's true.
As long as it fits into the mouth, that's all that
And
matters.
elbowing me in the throat. So, as you guys approach, you begin to hear the beginnings of whatever it's saying, Miracle, and it stops talking.
Mhm.
And you're not sure why. So you get closer, just to try to see. And I need you to make me a perception check.
Nine.
Do I see this?
Sure, make me a perception check.
Okay. Eight.
So neither one of you see anything in particular. Miracle, however, you do suddenly see a shadow over you. As you look up, you see the body of a troll flying at you. Does a
Can I
23 hit
dodge
you?
that? No, probably not. But
Does it?
do I get a check?
No, it's an attack roll. Does a
okay.
23 hit you?
Yes, it does.
You take 34 points of bludgeoning damage as a troll corpse smashes into you.
Sorry. Hi.
Wait, did I?
In
What,
giant.
what number did I just say?
34.
That's correct. Sorry, I'm distracted. Yeah, you take 34 points of damage as a troll corpse crashes into you. And
Hi.
I'm assuming I'm like over here somewhere. So I was trying to get like sort of around where Miracle is not.
You're like sort of off to one side.
Yes.
Miracle, you're like right here. You two are over here. And we're gonna go ahead
Ow,
and
but friendly wave and speaking in giant.
roll some initiative.
It feels like the point of friendliness has ended.
I know.
And as we roll
See if you
initiative,
can talk her down.
I suspect not.
bring it over here. Dun 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 dun. All right.
I also roll initiative just because I'm not on the board yet.
Boy, stop yelling. It's not nice. Not nice to yell randomly.
I do not believe that niceties are on your child's mind right now.
No, they're not. You can drink water. I know you can drink water. It's good for you. Good for you. It's good for you, boy. All right. So we have. Has everybody rolled initiative? We have Kinvalar with a 9, Miracle with a 13, Byron with
7.
7, not a 13.
16.
7.
Yeah.
Farbolt with a 16. There we go. All right. So, Farbolt, you heard the crashing, crunching sound of something hitting something else at high speed.
I'm going to. Well, I'm gonna. How far is this? Still trying to be sneaky. How would that affect my movement? Still trying to be sneaky.
You're trying to be what?
Still trying to be sneaky. How will that affect my movement?
Give me a stealth
I
check.
believe it's half speed to move.
You're a
while
rogue,
stealth.
right?
Yeah.
You can stealth as your bonus action instead of your action.
And I rolled a 1.
Okay.
But stealth is still a roll.
Yeah. Thinking I'm sneaky.
You are moving. You think you're moving very quietly. And then you move up, and as you get to where you're at right now, you trip and fall into another one of those trenches in the ground, making a lot of noise as you scramble back out.
Yeah, I think after pulling myself out, I'll stay there.
All right. That makes it.
Well.
That makes it Miracle's turn.
Hey, just wanted to talk.
You're currently underneath a troll.
Okay. Do I have to spend an action?
No,
to-
no, you can use your movement to get out.
I
from
am
underneath it,
getting
but-
out from under a troll. Yes. Giant. Hey, just wanted to talk. Wondering what. Ow. Okay.
I greatly silenced my microphone, so hopefully him screaming in the background isn't too loud now. Alright, so you get out from
Readying an
troll.
action to use my whip if aggressively within range.
Okay. Readying your whip to attack. Kinvalar.
All right. I mean, you can ready all you. Yeah. Let's start off strong with the thing that doesn't actually require rolling, and hit a level 4 lightning bolt up this giant's ass.
Lightning bolt?
Hmm?
I believe you're in range. Range on lightning bolt?
100 feet.
Like 1,000. I'm kidding, not that many.
It's like 120
it's-
feet.
I'm looking. 100 feet long.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Alright. So put it.
I went to go look where range is, and it said self, and I'm like, wait a minute, but oh yeah.
Or it originates from you.
So at level 4. Ugh.
C14 dexterity save.
29, yes, and 29 lightning damage.
Well, it rolled a natural 20 on its dexterity save.
Of course it did. So 14 damage.
Yes, 14 lightning damage. Alright. And that makes it Firen's turn.
And bonus action, I enter Blade Song just in case
Let me
it
check.
attacks me
who
for
is
shooting a lightning
here.
bolt at it. I think
need to-
it's a possibility.
I have it pulled up on my spell list.
And Gilded Mane is going on your initiative, so.
Okay. So it's half my movement to get onto a mount, so I will hop onto Gilded Mane. I don't have control of Gilded Mane right now.
Huh? Good.
No, I do not have control. I never gained control.
There you go.
There it goes. And then Warhorse moves at a speed of 60 feet. So. I
don't know why that didn't pop.
Shout. And then the horse gets to dash instead of getting to hope swipe, but it gets me within melee range.
Alright. Mounted combatants. It's a thing. If you were like a cavalry, if you were like a knight archetype, like right now, it'd be great. Just
Yeah, if I had the cavalry fighter archetype. Can I make an insight check to learn whether or not there is even an option to not fight this thing, or if it is just decided that we are to be killed?
Sure.
I mean, after lightning has been fired and shit, I feel like
I'm pretty certain the answer. I know the answer, but 14.
Well, considering that it threw a dead troll at Miracle and then got hit with lightning after, pretty certain it's fighting time.
Yeah. Okay. So today is fighting day.
Welcome to the fight.
So. Shield of Faith is a bonus action. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast that as my bonus action.
Right.
And because I cast it on myself, I can also have it cast on Guild and Main because we're bonded.
Yep.
And then as my action, I am going to engage my sacred weapon to make it easier for me to hit, and that's going to be my setup.
Okay. So you and your weapon both begin glowing with radiant light. Gilded Mane also begins glowing with that radiant light, and it is now the fire giant's turn. It rears back, and you notice that it's got in its hand a sort of a 4-foot long, looks like an adamantine rod of some kind. In one hand, and then in its other hand, it has drawn a great sword, giant size. It drops the rod to the ground, and you hear this massive as it hits the ground. Grips the sword in both hands and swings for the thing right next to it.
For me or the
you? Does a 22 hit you?
Yes.
So you take 30 slashing damage as this great sword wham hits you.
Ow.
Can you be unseated?
No, I cannot be unseated from my mount.
All right, so fortunately you're not knocked free. Comes back around. Does a 19 hit you?
No.
So you manage to. So as it comes back around for the second strike, you duck underneath it. Flies overhead.
Definitely doesn't because I kept concentration on
Good. Yeah, you should.
Shield of Faith.
All right, that makes it Firebolt's.
Let's see here. How far can I move?
My son is 1 year old, and he would like to say hello to everybody watching. Repeat it as loud as he can.
Move here. I'm going to cast a mirror image on myself. Then
So Firebolt becomes many Firebolts, shifting in and out of itself.
Then I am going to dash. Cunning action dash to move up to here.
All right. That's your turn.
Yep.
So that makes Miracle's turn. Aaron, it's your turn. You are muted.
I know I was muted. Okay. Okay, that's weird. But, whatever.
What's weird?
Does that say 30? Oh, that's also 35. Okay, so... Yes. Moving up 30 feet to here.
Okay.
Whip attacks.
Let's whip it. Oh, an 8
21?
misses. An 8 misses, but a 21 hits.
5 slashing.
You have 2 attack? Yeah,
Yes,
you got 2
multi-attack,
attacks.
ranger.
You got extra attack. All right. Yep, fire. So you missing the first one hits, but just glances off the armor. The second one snakes through and slices an exposed piece of skin. The Kinvalar's turn.
Alrighty. So. Well, it worked so well the first time. And let me check and make sure that nobody's gotten in. Okay. So. Yep. Let's do another at level 3 this time, because 1 level for a spell. Lightning bolt.
All right.
Hey, there's some damage.
36 lightning.
36. That's a lot of 6s.
It rolls a 16 for its dexterity save.
That's fine. It's getting hurt.
That makes it 36 divided. Yeah, just another lightning bolt.
And I will actually move.
I'm assuming you were pointing it this way.
Yes.
Yeah, so Farbolt out from behind the giant. You don't get hit by the lightning bolt, but a bolt of lightning just blasts past you,
And I'm moving 1, 2,
causing the
3,
hair on your head to stand up.
5, 6. There we go.
You're like, maybe I should have coordinated a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm moving out of the way on my
Fine.
turn.
All right, Farn.
My turn? All
Yep,
right.
your turn.
I am injured.
You are injured. Fancy that.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of those took out half my health. But it's heal myself or keep hitting it. So what do you think, Firen? There's a little bit of self-preservation.
You increase your health when you level up.
I did. But I only have 60 hit points. So you did half my health in one swing.
Fire turns.
Yep.
I'm gonna cure wounds myself.
Yep.
For 7 healing.
Heal yourself for 7.
Yay.
That makes
And
sense.
then Gilded Mane is going to attack as well. 19 to hit for 11 bludgeoning.
19 hits, dealing 11 bludgeoning. Right. That makes it its turn. There's an annoying wizard that keeps hitting it with lightning bolts.
Yes, there is.
So it reaches down and picks up that large adamantine rod that it had, and just
All right.
chucks it over at Kinvalar.
Bring it.
Does a 24 hit you?
18. There's nothing I can do to avoid being hit by that right now because the shield will only get me up to 23. So yes, it hits.
So you watch as this large metal bar. You take 29 points of bludgeoning damage as
Ow.
it connects and just slams you to the ground.
It's fine. I'm still good.
The rest of you see like water and smoke erupt into the air as it collides with Kinvalar.
Motherfucker.
But fortunately, it can only do one attack when it throws something. So that makes it Farbolt's turn.
Okay. Move up to here so I'm flanking.
Yep.
And I'm going to take a couple swipes at this thing. And
Well, a critical
that's a
hit.
critical.
A critical hit hits.
And that sneak attack is...
Sneak
Were
attack
you,
crit.
were you meaning to dagger instead of
Uh, no, using the rapier.
yeah, so go ahead and roll the rapier's damage instead of the dagger damage.
Oh, whoops. Right.
Which would be a 1d8 plus 4 plus...
Yeah.
So 2d8 plus 4. Roll 2d8 plus 4.
Let's just use the window.
Slash roll 2d8 plus 4.
No, I wasn't. I didn't have the chat selected as a.
Ah.
Is there a space between the?
Yes.
Slash roll
Roll
space.
space 2d8.
Also, don't forget sneak attack as advantage.
Yeah.
He has a button for sneak.
Yeah.
All right. 9 points of damage.
She did less damage than the dagger did.
Oh, I mean,
And then.
and then
22 points of
22
sneak attack.
points for sneak attack.
And then now I'm going to take a swipe with the dagger.
Yeah, offhand dagger. 26 hits, roll damage. Almost another crit. For 4 more damage. Alright. Miracle.
Okay. Given that I am flanking, I'm just going to continue attacking with the whip.
Continue to whip it. 22 hits, roll damage.
Oh, sorry. And I accidentally rolled both my attacks. I'm assuming 14 doesn't.
14 does not hit.
Okay, 6 slashing. And as a bonus action, Red Feather will take his move heading over to Kunvalar and has 3 good berries.
It can make it, leaving 1.
I think it can make it to Kunvalar.
Yeah.
But even with the enhanced bonus action, can only pick the stuff up and head over there.
Yeah. But, I mean,
But-
Red Feather makes it. Alright, Kinvalar.
All right. I'm in not good shape, but 3 hit points isn't gonna be the difference between life and death at the moment.
I mean, it could be.
I mean, it could also just be 3 times to pick him back up from 0.
Right. So,
Or if you need to rush in and save us from AoE.
what the hell? I got 2 more 3rd level spells left. How's that
Lightning
lightning
again?
taste, motherfucker? $24. Yeah, that's exactly.
Let's see if it rolls. Well, nope, rolled an 18. So that's 12
First-
lightning damage.
And I am going to. Actually, no, that's actually the perfect place for me to be right now. So I am not moving. I am staying right where I am, and I am preparing to get my ass kicked.
Alright, firing.
Alright, now that I have healed myself a little bit, and I've still got my sword active, so I'm just gonna go for my attacks with advantage now.
I think I still have 1 healing
Miss.
potion left.
10 is a miss.
And probably miss.
15 is also a miss.
I have +7 on these swings.
I know, right?
Gilded Mane, kick it in the face for me.
Hey, buddy?
Natural 20! 21
Natural
points
20
of
from
bludgeoning.
Golden Man. 21 points of bludgeoning damage. Alright, its turn. It grips that great sword tight and swings once at Farbolt and once at Firen. Boy, I really need you to stop fussing over there. He's just screaming for no reason. Farbolt, does a 16 hit you?
Yes, but I'm going to. It deflects onto one of my duplicates.
Alright. So this sword comes down, slamming, and one of the mirror images of Farbolt disappears. And then it comes back around. Does a 28 hit you, Firen?
Damn it, yeah.
Smacking into Firen for 21 points of slashing damage. You just don't want me to. Don't want me to. Oh, I see. You don't want me to have headphones. Headphones upset.
I hold on to my concentration on my spell.
All right. All right. Takes Farbolt's turn.
Yeah, after seeing that thing get squished, my duplicate gets switched. I am going to dive in for another pair of attacks.
Critical hit on the rapier again.
with another sneak attack crit.
There's
Ooh, that is some lethal
that is a
sneak attack.
nice
Ow,
hit.
ow. That is choking me. 15 rapier, and then
And 34.
No, 35.
35, you're right.
35 from the
so
sneak attack.
Farbolt.
Total of 50.
How do you want to do this?
Yeah.
as it kind of as the giant turns to swing at Firen, it's run up, kind of jump up its leg to like flip up onto its back and just come down with a rapier right in the
Kind
back.
of like what my son is doing right now. Have a live
yes.
demonstration of what it looks like. But yeah, Farbolt.
Flip it like, right
so-
back into the back
Yeah,
of the neck.
the fire giant spins around to swing at fire and connecting, and using that moment of distraction, Farbolt just leaps up the back end of it, climbing, using the armor plates as a method of climb by which to climb. Gets up to the top and then just jams that rapier into the back of its neck. You hear this thunderous groaning sound. Collapses to the ground. And at that point, where we will end our stream for this week. So, thank you all very much for watching. We have been Final wide variety. You can check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. Patreon. You can also, we also like to thank $5 tiers, as well as all our patrons, especially Antitonic and Cat Waterflame. $5 tier. As much. We also like to thank the folks over at funmania.com. All of them out there. .com.
So, folks, if you have interest in pop culture in a general way or geek stuff, which I'm assuming you do, if you are watching a stream / video of a bunch of people playing D&D, then 411 Mania is a place that you might be interested in. We cover all sorts of pop culture, everything from movies and music, television, video games, wrestling, mixed martial arts, reviews of films and the coming TV shows for the fall season, box office reports, live reports from pay-per-views, Emmy coverage tonight, all of that sort of stuff, and Final Show Film stuff too when it gets posted. It's 411 Mania. Check it out.
Yeah, we appreciate them. We appreciate all of you guys watching. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe below. And remember on Twitch, all of the folks subscribe to us. We are Twitch affiliates, which means both of those. Also, let folks know if you like what we do. 500 followers, that means we're partners. Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.